Hi there and good afternoon. It's Roel Hoekstra, Aquila Partners. I just wanted to record a real quick video on Sunday to give you an update on the digital tools that we're using right now to drive client acquisition. There's a whole lot of there's a whole lot of stuff that we've been able to learn over the last 6 months. We've really gotten a good handle on the in-market targeting data, the site visitor match targeting data, and some of the key marketing concepts that we can bring to getting financial advisors the kinds of lead generation and conversions that they're looking for. So we've learned a lot. I've been meaning to send out an update, but we've just been really busy, so I'm taking this Sunday to record this quick video just to say hi. Everybody that's getting this video is somebody that I've talked to one-on-one over the last 6 months about your marketing strategy and campaigns. So I'm just circling back to say hi. Anyway, so let's look at this real quickly. I know from talking with, I don't know, 100 or so financial advisors over the last 9 months that one of the real big issues is this whole concept of generating qualified sales-ready leads off the internet. It seems like a good idea because we know our clients are on the internet. I know your clients are on the internet. But getting their attention, getting them into your funnels, educating them, getting them to raise their hand, schedule appointments, etc., has been a challenge. There's no doubt about it. And I also know that buying leads from sort of services that are selling leads to you and other people simultaneously is okay. The leads don't convert, and there's a fundamental issue that the lead nurturing and the whole advertising process is a black box, and you don't have any control of it. So I know the frustrations that are there. And the third frustration that I know you're facing, because we see it all the time, is even once you get a lead, being able to sort of nurture that lead and get them to raise their hand, to have good appointments. I'm always saying, well, leads are great, but I need good leads, sales-ready leads, etc. I got it. I know those are all problems, and we definitely have seen some real progress in solving those problems. So that's why, again, that's why I'm here today. Anyway, I know a lot of this isn't fair. I appreciate that. But by the same token, the old marketing approaches just aren't as effective today as they were even in the last year or so. Technology is changing so rapidly. I know for many of you it's pushing you out of your comfort zones, and the real advantage here is that your clients are sticky, which is great. I know many of you are making a really good living with your good client base, $100 million, $200 million, $1 billion in assets under management, producing real cash flow. For those of you that are under that, same thing, you've got a good little business. But creating scalable growth is very elusive. If you're at all like me, you're getting bombarded with ads on the internet, and everybody tells you how easy it should be. And it isn't easy, but I'm going to show you how you can get it done, because I'm really happy about the fact that I think we've cracked the puzzle, specifically talking about financial advisors, registered investment advisors, in firms in that range. And while our team isn't quite as cool looking as this team on the slide, we are equally as happy. Because we've been able to see the hard work of the last couple months coming together. So as I walk through this, I do have a couple ground rules. The first is that your customers are on the internet. You can argue with me till the cows come home, but your customers are there, whether they have 200,000 in assets or $20 million in assets. I know they're on the internet. They're Googling stuff. They're searching. They're actively out there. They're looking, and I will say that finding them is easy. Our in-market targeting and site visitor match data really is working to be able to get good ads in front of those people who are looking for help in the financial services area. The hard part is absolutely building a relationship and getting conversions. And when I say sort of getting conversions, I really mean at this point the scheduling of appointments, getting them to show up at your event, getting them to come to your webinar, you name it. That is hard, and it takes a real concerted effort to make it work, and I'll show you how we do that. But it is so critical that you work to fix this now, because these trends are absolutely accelerating, and if you're not on top of it, you're going to get run over, because there are lots of people who are working hard to fix this right now. So let me start quickly with this idea that finding leads is easy. Our targeting tools work. I'm going to show you two examples here of recent client projects, and then I got some summary data. So I'm pulling this from a couple places, but to show you how this works. So this is right from the Facebook ad manager, and let me see if I can zoom in a little bit to make it a little easier to read. Zoom all the way in. All right. There you go. It should be roughly in your... All right. Sorry about that. I'm trying to figure out how to make all this cool technology work. Anyway, so what I wanted to show you here, and I have a couple slides, so you don't have to read off the little screen. But here was a client that was running campaigns to a seminar, and they spent in September around $1,200. They're paying $14 per 1,000 views, cost per 1,000 impressions. They got 1,900 clicks, around 65 cents a click. So you might think that's not so bad, but let me show you what happens when we basically run the same ads using our in-market targeting data and process. The savings are significant. So we spent in the month of January about $1,000. We took the cost per 1,000 down to just over $2. We got almost 3,000 clicks, and that was at 37 cents a click. So I've summarized that here. Again, let's go back to the right scale. Sorry. There you go. Back to the right scale. One more so you can back to the right scale so you can see me. Anyway, so what does this show you? This shows you that the ad spend went down by 12%, the cost per click went down by 85%, the number of clicks went up by 50%, and the cost per click went down by 43%. And really the only change was the fact that we were using in-market targeting data, and I would say that our team is pretty good at doing Facebook ads. So there's a little bit of that going in the magic, but I'll give 80% of the credit here to the in-market targeting, the site visitor match data, and the power of lookalike audiences. So that's the main driver there. The other thing that comes in with the finding leads is easy part is the idea that it's one thing to get those clicks. So in that particular example, we were getting good clicks, but we weren't really getting the kind of conversion into leads that I'd like to see. And the reason is because where the traffic was going wasn't as dynamic as it should be. So we must have ads and landing pages that are personalized, interactive, and dynamic. So when I talk about a flat landing page, it's when you go someplace and it says, here's your ebook, give me your name and email, here's a retirement planning guide, sign up for a seminar. Those aren't getting the conversions that we want. If you can get those to convert at 2%, 3%, you're doing a great job. I found that getting to 2% conversion was really a struggle. Getting people to opt into a webinar, which is a simple conversion, we're getting 4 and 5%, but then again, you lose a lot of people who don't show up at webinars. So those kind of flat conversions have their limits, but we've been recently working at building interactive decision trees You can call them surveys if you want, but I think that undersells it because they're highly interactive and allow us to create individualized experiences. So here, and I know you can't see it too well, and I'm not going to play with the presentation thing anymore, but this shows that we were generating in October for a different client that was driving people to a flat landing page. We were converting leads to that flat landing page. So in that month, we got 12 of them for, I don't know, $500, and it was $37 a lead. Okay. $37 a lead is pretty good. We were basically saying we're going to try and produce those leads between $20 and $40. And that's based on the advertising spending. But here's what happens now using our new technology. I don't know if you can see that, but that shows $2.11, and this is $1.40. So I'll show you the summary page. Cost per lead went from $37 to $2.50. Now that's a 93% reduction. And the reason is we went from 2% opt-in rate to a 35% opt-in rate. And the reason you go to that higher opt-in rate is because the content is interactive. They're engaged, they're participating in the lead magnet, and you're getting great opt-in rates. I will say that right now in the market that these ads are running, the competition has gone up as it relates to driving advertising spend. I've seen in the last couple days that those leads are now costing like $4. So it is going to vary depending on the amount of competition, right, for that ad space. But that, of course, is the power of the site visitor match. We own and control that data. We know who comes to the website, and we can take these ad platforms and move them to any platform that we want. So I think 250 is a really good number. I'm trying to keep it there from an ad spend standpoint. But you know, if it's at $3 or $4, it still beats the heck out of $37. And I'm going to look at sort of how the math of that works to your advantage quickly. I am going to take it. Here's a quick aside. Everything is mobile, and this isn't really the best example. That this happens to be the from Google Analytics. The distribution for that last ad thing, the last campaign we were looking at, shows 56% of the traffic was mobile. I've actually seen it as high as 85%. And I'm just bringing this to your attention because if you are developing any kind of marketing, lead funnel, lead generation tools, you absolutely have to recognize that your customers, your prospects, are seeing them on your cell phone. So it's got to fit on this screen, not on a desktop. I'd be willing to bet that you're watching this on a mobile phone right now. So conversion is the hard part. If I said leads are easy, and I really feel that leads are easy now. So the ability to get people to opt in and participate is easy, but getting them to move into the prospect stand, to become a sales ready lead, is much harder, and lead nurture is the key. So if we want to go from stranger to client, we're going to have to address this hurdle of stranger to lead, and then the hard part is lead to prospect. Okay, and I know I've covered this in some of the stuff we've done before, but it's worth repeating that it's all about the buyer's journey. If somebody is not aware that they have a problem, they're not going to care about your solution or your technology or your tools or how wonderful an investment advisor you are. If they don't have a problem, they're not paying attention. So you've got to get their attention. You got to make them aware. You have to help them understand how big their problem is, help them understand that they can solve their problem, understand what's the best solution to their problem. Before they're even willing to talk. So the sales process where they're going to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm a prospect for what you're doing, doesn't come down till the end, until they're sort of like ready to figure out solutions. The lead nurture has got to handle the first of those 4 or 5 boxes before you move on. And I think almost everybody that I talk to, everybody I've seen, doesn't do enough lead nurture, and then they're really frustrated with the conversion to prospects from digital tools. Like, oh, it's great, we got all this stuff, but I'm not getting appointments. All right, well, you want to get appointments, you've got to do the lead nurture, period. So when we talk about a marketing funnel, what I have here is the fact that if we want to start with getting the attention of strangers who meet our ideal target definition, that's not hard to do. The advertising tools that are out there are incredible at helping you hone in on this. The site visitor match and the in-market targeting data we have laid over top of the tools that Google and Facebook and YouTube and Pinterest and everybody else has to offer means our ability to put the ad in front of the right people is terrific. When we use interactive decision trees, interactive content on the landing page, we are able to engage and educate and get people to opt in. We're dealing with relevant information that addresses a top of mind problem. That's what you have to do. And remember, this is a value exchange. So if we want someone to opt in, the value that we're providing to them has to be greater than the cost. And I'll tell you, the cost of giving up your name and email address is a lot higher today than it was even a year ago, right? So that's a critical issue that has to be recognized. So I'm defining a lead as somebody who clicks on an ad, consumes your content, interacts with you, gives you information, opts in, and is willing to now hear from you. Once you do the lead nurture, those that say, all right, I understand, I have a problem, I think you can solve my problem, I know and I like and I trust you based on the conversations we've been having so far, which have been automated, I now want to talk to you, that's an appointment and that's a prospect. And I know that what you want is prospects. I'm telling you, the lead generation, lead nurture, if done right, are going to generate lots of good prospects. So that prospect of going from stranger to lead to prospect to client is a process or a series of micro conversions. The process should be the same online as it is in person. You got to develop a relationship, you have to build a trust, and you have to recognize that there's a series of conversations, series of conversions that you have to walk your client through or your prospect through. And the key is to do education, right? Education is the lubricant that makes lead nurture work. So when we've been doing this now, we really put together what I call an organic client acquisition strategy, not to be confused with, mergers and acquisition, buying other advisors. All that works as a way to acquire more clients in bulk. But if you want to acquire clients organically, then you got to generate the leads, you got to nurture the leads, and you got to get them to become sales prospects. So our approach is now been divided into 4 components. A 7-day email campaign that uses 3 educational videos and a specific meeting offer to get those that are sort of ready, the top 1 or 2%, your now buyers, to take an action. A 30-day email campaign that helps those that are really problem and process aware raise their hand. And then importantly, a long-term drip plan that allows you to nurture all of these leads. And I'm going to talk in just a second about the power of the drip, but that is by far the most important part. And you got to give it time to let that lead nurture work. And then finally, display ads are the sort of the final piece of that, because it is really inexpensive to keep top of mind awareness through display ads to those people that you are communicating with, like pennies. I mean, like 3, 4, 5 pennies per click as it relates to display ads. So it's the cost of acquiring that initial lead can be higher. The cost of maintaining that, nurturing that relationship is very inexpensive across the board, especially once you set it up. I also think, and I talk here about the importance of an automated appointment generation system. You have to have it, absolutely. If you are asking people to leave messages, if you want them to call back, it's not going to work. People aren't opting in. You have to have an automated system. So when we do this, we're putting an automated appointment system onto the marketing funnel completely. I prefer Time Trade. I think it's terrific. You can integrate with lots of things. I know some of you use Calendarly, others aren't using anything. Use one of the two, and if you're working with me and you want to work with me and you're not using either, we'll go with Time Trade. That allows us to build a front-end information capture funnel, send them to Time Trade for appointment scheduling, take them to an appointment landing page with some further information, graphics, and a welcome video, so that when that appointment comes up, you are not dealing with a stranger. You know tons about them. They've raised their hand, they've given you information, and they know who you are, and your closing ratio should go up dramatically because you're not dealing with unqualified leads at that point in time. So back here now to the power of drip. Size matters. It's true in lots of things, and it's very true when it comes to these drip campaigns. You're just not going to get 30% conversions off of online leads. It just doesn't work. So the reality of the situation is that an online lead is relatively easy to acquire, but you're talking about a relatively big funnel at the top. So what we want to do is recognize that maybe 1% conversion of these leads that come in is pretty terrific, all things combined. And if you can get a big funnel at the top, your lead nurture weeds out all the people that aren't qualified, and those that are raising the hand and scheduling appointments are really sales-ready leads, and that is the 1 to 1.5% of the people in your drip. So this, if you add these up over the first 6 months, comes to like 2.5%. We are seeing it coming in right now at around these rates, 0.5%. The 30-day is slightly less than 1.5%, around 1%. And some of these new ones with these big funnels haven't gone 180 days yet, so I don't quite know where that's going to end up. But what I wanted to do is show you the power of a strong lead generation and drip campaign. And raise your hand if you're not doing a 6-month or year-long drip campaign to everybody that is opting in, that's been to your website, that knows who you are. And I see probably everybody has their hand up. I don't do as good a job as I should on this, but here's what you need to do. If you are bringing in 500 leads every month, and by the way, if you're generating leads at $5 to $10 a lead, like we were just talking about, you can bring in 500 leads a month, right? $10 a lead, 500 leads a month, $5,000 a month, brings in 500 leads a month. And what happens is over just a course of 10 months, 12 months, you're at like 5,000 leads. So this goes up to 4,000 at 10 months, and I ran out of room on my chart. But here's the power of all those leads, right? Appointments. You need appointments. Leads by themselves don't do you any good. You need appointments. So if you're converting from leads to appointment at just 1%, which is very doable, as that group that you're marketing to, that you own and control, that you have in your universe. So the cost of all those lead nurture campaigns is really almost nothing, other than having the content that you want to share. But I know everybody that's listening to this has content that they can share. So really the cost to do this on an ongoing basis goes way down. The hard part is getting those people in there. But look at what this does. I mean, over the course of the first 6 months, you're at 20 appointments a month. That's one a day. If you take that out to a year, you're at 2 a day, possibly up to 3 a day. And if you want to add different advisors, once you prove this out, well, you just pour more money in the top. We can do 1,000 leads a day. We can do 1,500 a month, 1,500 leads a month, 2,000 leads a month, and the process, the campaign, will scale with you across that using the tools that we've just talked about. So I know that this is the number you care about, right? These appointments. I got to generate leads before, and then we have to have a nurture campaign to generate appointments. You have to have all three. So our newest approach is really to base what we're doing on a performance pricing basis. Oh, excuse me. So I want to generate leads and have you pay for the leads. We want to generate appointments and have you pay for the appointments. There is probably a need to build some systems for almost everybody that's listening to this. So that's done on a fee-for-service upfront basis, very inexpensively. The point is, the other thing I'm really passionate about within this program is recognizing that we are your marketing partner and building it for you. So our clients own everything. It's your leads, your funnels, your email sequences, your landing pages, your targeting data. It's all yours. We build it, run it for you, and we get compensated when you're successful on a win-win basis. So that's our new approach. I would love to chat with you about it because we are very happy with the results that we've been getting recently from pulling all this stuff together. And again, we've literally spent every day, last 20 hours a day for the last 6 months, sort of doing nothing but figuring out how to bring these tools together with what you want to do as a financial advisor. I do have a small team, so not willing to take on more than 3 new clients this spring, and that's really March and April. So I want to circle back with everybody that I've already talked to before we go out to new people. See if you want to revisit building a client acquisition strategy for your business. Use the link in the email that has this video in it to schedule a call. Just use the strategy link, same link. We'll schedule another call. It's convenient for you. And let's revisit your strategy for generating a scalable marketing system to generate more appointments for your business. So anyway, happy Sunday. Don't forget to change your clocks if you haven't already done so. I really look forward to catching up and talking to you again. So with that, I'll say goodbye.